AITA for wearing my wedding dress to someone else's wedding? I 20F, married my husband 2 years ago. We aren't rich and don't care that much about weddings, so I wore my prom dress to my wedding. It's not a super fancy dress or anything, it's basically a long sequin dress in deep dark blue with one sleeve. My friend Sierra, 22F, was attending my wedding. Since the wedding, I wore it on a few occasions because it's basically the only one fancy dress I own. Recently, Sierra was getting married and I was obviously invited. The wedding color scheme was dark blue and she requested fancy attire, so I thought my dark blue dress would be fine. It's not white and it's not even remotely close to a wedding dress. I also didn't feel like wasting money on another fancy dress that I wouldn't ever wear again, especially since we aren't rich. So I showed up at her wedding in my dark blue sequin dress. It wasn't standing out or anything, most of the guests were wearing even more fancier dresses. However, when Sierra saw me, she lost it. She yelled at me in front of all the guests, in front of her husband and my husband, saying that what I did was horrible and that no one shows up at a wedding in a wedding dress. I tried to reason with her, saying that the dress isn't a wedding dress, it's the only fancy piece of clothing I own, I wore it to multiple occasions before and after my wedding. She didn't listen and kept yelling at me to the point her bridesmaids and her husband started trying to calm her down. She also said a bunch of unsavory names to me. I was very upset with the drama and decided to leave with my husband. Then I started getting texts from Sierra, who blamed me for upstaging her on her wedding day, for driving a wedge between her and her husband since he said that she overreacted massively and upset her friend over a dress. I decided to ignore them because I think she is being unreasonable, but a part of me thinks that I was a jerk because I wore the dress to my own wedding.